Do you think that video that I made was, you know, like a one-off thing? No, miss me with that shit, okay? I wasn't lying. We're coming back until my break ends and I have to inevitably go back to school. But as long as that break isn't over, I will be making videos, and even then, I'll probably make one or two. Welcome to Tonikaku Kawaii, chapter 204, brought to you by Bathhouse Skins. I didn't mention that in the last video. I'm sorry. It's just that, like I said, I just forgot how to make a video. So it's like, gotta get back into the motions of how to do it. Apart from that, I have nothing interesting to say because surprisingly, nothing interesting has happened to me in the past month. Maybe that's a good thing. So, like I said, let's just jump right into it. So our chapter starts off with a huge time skip. By I mean huge, I mean not really. It's like all the way to 891 CE. But what's important is that Tsukasa-chan is talking to this one dude. He was mentioned a couple chapters ago. His name is Sugawara no Michizane. You know, he's the super popular poet. He was also the guy that was exiled to Dazaifu. But long story short, he was mentioned before this. He's basically kind of important into the whole story. Now, in the Tonikaku Kawaii universe, the TKU, you can say, Michizane here, he's the actual author, I believe, of the Kaguya bamboo cutter story. In our timeline, you know, in our world, we don't actually know who the author is, but that's a cool little tidbit for you. So they're just kind of talking about this story and what he should be writing down, right? And Michizane asks Tsukasa-chan, hey, so you mentioned that there's this whole lunar envoy thing that happened. What's up with that? Could you, like, give me more context for that? And Tsukasa-chan, she's like, I don't know what fucking happened at that time, bro. I was dying when that was going on. How do you think I know what's going on? So Michizane is obviously not too enthralled with her answer. So he's like, okay. So then, what do I put here? I can't just say there was this lunar envoy that came. You can't just, like, you know, let me just do that, all right? And Tsukasa-chan, she's like, I don't know, make some shit up, okay? You're the writer here. Fucking, I don't know, put some emotional, you know, will they, won't they type shit. Like, listen, this is a climatic scene that's going on. Oh no, put some lovey-dovey shit or some crap, alright? So the nobleman's like, okay, fine, sure. He's starting to realize that maybe he shouldn't be using Tsukasa-chan as his only source. Granted, she's the only one that survived from that fucking point, but still, he's like, alright. So he decides to ask her, you know, not about the whole love thing. He now asks, you know, her about the nobleman, what their treasures were, if she even remembers them, really. And Tsukasa-chan, she's like, oh yeah, right, they had treasures. I don't remember at all. So Tsukasa-chan thinks about it for a moment, and she's like, okay, what's something that I can just make up on the fly? Okay, I went to this area in northwest Pakistan. Obviously she doesn't know what it is, but I'm just giving you context. It's named Gandhara, I think it is. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. Anyways, she was like, I remember interacting with this robe, this great Chinese fire rat robe. Yeah, we can just go with that. Fuck it, why not? It's a fireproof thing. I'm sure we can put that as one of the treasures in. And Michizane is not too excited by this answer. He doesn't really want to take it as one of the things. So he calls her out on her very much historical inaccuracy, right? He's like, listen, this fucking fire Chinese rat thing that you're coming up with that might be real, that came after the Sui and the Tang Dynasty, and those came after the fucking story. Like, ever heard of historical accuracy or some shit? Like, come on. Like, is this how you just are, just in real life? Always making some shit up, always, you know, fucking talking about what goes up to your mind immediately. Like, come on, take this serious. This story is going to become a banger, okay? Now, Tsukasa-chan doesn't really like his attitude, and she's like, okay, listen, watch your mouth. I made you, okay? She goes all, you know, I guess, like, very, like the fucking managers of, like, idol groups or some shit. I don't know. It's like, listen, I made you who you are. You rather ungrateful little brat, I'll have you know. Tsukasa-chan continues with her whole little tirade of, you know, basically trying to school this young kid, which he basically is to her. And, she goes all, back in my day, she's like, oh, back in my day, that paper that you're writing on right now was considered absolute luxury. That was considered the greatest treasure of the world, I'll have you know. And then she gets, like, really sad about this. She's like, do you have any idea how hard it is to make up treasures from that time? And then she's like, it doesn't even matter anyways, bro. This thing happened like 3 centuries ago. Everyone that's in this story has already died a brutal death anyways. Why is there a point of even trying to fucking think of this? And she just gets really sad just trying to reminisce about the past. And obviously, Michizane, he also feels sad. He's like, ugh, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. After that, we go all the way back. We go all the way back 3 centuries ago, and we're right back to where we were the last chapter, which was everyone has figured out that there's going to be this lunar envoy that's going to come and take away Kaguya. Now, the Emperor, he decides to, use his big brain, and basically decides to, like, grab the best of the best when it came to generals, militaries, all that sort. He rounds them all up. He's going to use them to defend Kaguya, and obviously, her grandparents or parents, I don't really know, they're very thankful for him. They're like, oh my god, Mr. Emperor, thank you very much for trying to defend our daughter here, right? Now, he's like, oh, don't worry about it, don't mention it, this is also my fight. This is my fight because I promised to defend Kaguya no matter how hard it was, because he really, really loves her, right? But, that doesn't matter, because Kaguya just cuts in and she's like, I'm gonna keep it real with you. This is kind of dumb on your guys' part. This is very pointless. You're all going to die, basically. So we move on to Kaguya and the Emperor, who are talking in private, and the Emperor basically confronts Kaguya. He's like, okay, listen, how do you, really feel about this? Because to be honest, if you want to go up to the moon, I'm not forcing you, to be honest. However, if you want to stay here, all I'm saying, I'm willing to do everything in my power to, protect you, right? And Kaguya is like, okay, I'm gonna give you the basic rundown of what's gonna happen, okay? So, these people, they kind of don't care about you guys, you mortals, they don't really like you guys, okay? Because, to them, you're kind of irrelevant, you're kind of useless in a way, and they don't really like you for that. She continues, she's like, if she tried to, appeal to them, if she tried to, negotiate some deal or some shit, they would think she's been corrupted by the humans, and they would most likely, bring down judgment on them and basically just kill them all. And, she's like, to be honest, she basically starts dissing them for a moment there. She's like, they don't even know that, like, the true beauty of human life anymore. They're up in the moon being all pompous and fucking, they're living their immortal lives and shit. And they've all just forgotten about the beauty of you humans and your beautiful limited lifespans for some weird reason. Apparently, she really likes that or something like that, really. But she's basically telling them that, if I tried to stay here, you guys would all die. If I left, of course, you would feel sad, but it would probably be for the best that I go, so that no one dies. So the Emperor, he kind of just digests this information, he takes it a bit, and then he basically concludes and tells Kaguya, not gonna lie, you kind of suck as a human being. Like, your personality, it's kind of cringe, alright? Obviously, Kaguya is very surprised by this, right? Because, this is a moment where, like, it's very intimate and stuff like that. And then he's just coming in with the, oh yeah, you kind of just suck, by the way. It's like, obviously, she's caught by surprise, right? He goes on, he's like, you're arrogant, you're selfish, you're a little dumb. You're all of these things. You're honestly the worst of the worst, okay? You are the worst human being, the worst type of girlfriend, just basically everything, okay? And then he's like, however, okay, you are extremely truthful and you are brutally honest, okay? And apparently to the Emperor, that's the main reason why he really, really loves her, because she's brutally honest and she's just always knows what's probably for the best, right? And, he knows that Kaguya right now is chatting absolute bullshit, okay? He knows that just by looking at her, she's trying to hide something from him, and basically, he's telling her to fucking spill it, okay? Because he's like, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I can't really do anything when you're trying to lie to my face and stuff. And obviously Kaguya, she kind of thinks about it, and she basically breaks for a moment. She's like, she doesn't want to go back, all right? She's fully admitted it. She doesn't want to go back because she's afraid of losing all of her memories, and this is the first time ever in her life that she's always just felt love. So she kind of just wants to keep it, and she doesn't want to go back up because she knows that she's going to eventually lose it, and then she's probably going to forget about it, and she doesn't want that to happen, and she starts crying like really, really bad. She's like, I don't want to go, and then stuff like that, and basically tells him, tells the emperor to basically try to protect her because she really, really doesn't want to go. And he's like, all right, okay, that's what I wanted to hear. And basically, they kind of hug it out for a moment. Very cute. I mean, apart from the fact that he's gonna eventually die and she's gonna inevitably still go all the way up, but apart from that, still it's like really cute, kind of just like they're both embracing each other, they're both finally on the same page, and they can actually get this going. After their, very lovey-dovey embrace, we move on to the three noblemen, the three surviving ones, because one of them died, I believe, of falling off a cliff, and then the other one just drowned in the fucking ocean. So, these are the three surviving ones. Obviously, the whole competition's over, right? But two of them are still very keen on trying to get Kaguya to, marry him. So they're obviously talking about this whole enemy, right? They're like, the lunar envoy, what the fuck is that supposed to mean, right? But the two noblemen, they're like, maybe we could use this as a chance, to show off to Kaguya, and then maybe somehow in some way, she's gonna fall in love with one of them and, get married to him, right? Now, the other nobleman, the dark-skinned one, I mentioned him a while back, he's like, I mean, that's cool and all, but like, I kind of don't want to do that, all right? He's like, I used to like her, now I really don't, but, he's willing to defend her, not because, he wants to get married to her again or get a chance, but mostly because he used to like her and, wants to prove that, he's a good person or something like that. And, basically they keep talking for a bit when suddenly the dark-skinned nobleman notices some weird little glints from the moon. It's like he tells the other guys, it's like, hey, did you see that from the moon? There's like two little lines and shit just coming from it, underneath it, right? They have no idea what's going on. They look at it and they're like, bro, I don't know what you mean, bro. There's absolutely nothing going on at the moon. And he's like, no, trust me. There's something going on in that moon. And, something happens, all right? He looks back. They don't because what happened was, after he says, no, there's definitely something going on, the other noblemen don't respond. So he turns back and finds out that the other two have been hit by something. We don't know. They're basically on the floor. They're dead, basically, I believe. Probably petrified or something. I don't know. But, the emperor, he gets notified of this. There's this soldier that comes inside the fucking mansion thing, and it's like, sir, we're being attacked. And he's like, okay, the battle has begun. And that's obviously, that's where the chapter ends. Yeah, it was pretty good. I always kind of like these more emotional chapters, especially with Kaguya, because it's like, when we were originally introduced to Kaguya, we only knew her as like this smart ass fucking Omega Big Brain fucking no emotions girl. It's kind of nice to flesh her out a little more, and it's like, oh, okay, she's an actual person, all right, that used to have emotions and all of that. I don't know if it's safe to say that it's like this Kaguya is the exact same one as the present one. However, I think in like two more chapters from this point, I think chapter 206, we're done with all of this past stuff, and we go straight to the present, where it's like Kaguya wakes up and she's like, I just had this terrible dream or some shit like that. So maybe this was her entire past, or this is like or Kaguya is like a descendant of like the original Kaguya or something, because actually, no, we can talk about that in the next chapter. Oh, well, I'm getting a little carried on, okay? Because I actually have the scripts already for 205 and 206, so it's kind of like I already know what's going on, and I'm not just doing this off beat. What am I even trying to say? Anyways, I hope that you enjoy this. I'm probably going to get a video out on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. I don't know. But if it's on Christmas Day, well then yeah, that's gonna be nice. If it's on Christmas Eve, well, I mean it still works. So yeah, apart from that, I hope that you enjoy, and yeah, goodbye.